Good morning. Today is the 8th day of year? No, ninth day. Ninth day of the year. And it's the 30th of April. And we are starting a new mimer that we will hopefully finish by Shavu'oth. And it's the first mimer in Torah or that deals with Shavuos. Torah or Likutei Torah. I'm a little tired today. Likutei Torah, we're in Daf Lamed Hey, meaning folio 35, side B. And the mimer, this essay starts, Usfartem lechem mimochorat Shabbat. You shall count for yourselves, after the Sabbath, meaning after the first holiday of the first day of rest of Pesach, Miyom aviachem et omer atnufa, from the day on which you brought the omer, and the omer was the korban that was brought on the first day of Chol HaMoed of Pesach, and you should count 7 weeks, Sheva Shabbatot. So this verse, it actually appears in this week's Parsha. So it's also very fitting in terms of both the time and it's talking about the 7 weeks of counting the Omer. And it's also talking about the end. This mimer is going to talk about the end result, which is the holiday of Shavuot. Okay, and it's going to take us through this whole period of time. This morning, I actually, when I was debating which mimer to learn, I was looking at the short ones, the Ktsarim. And there I saw a beautiful, beautiful short thing, very short, on Sfirat HaOmer. And I want to bring it this week because it was too short to learn it for a whole week. It would just take 2 days. So I decided in the end not to do it because we can do this. And then when you get back, hopefully we'll still have a few days before Shavuot. And so we'll be able, God willing, to finish this. But that mimer gave a whole new meaning I've never seen before, or at least I don't remember ever seeing it, for what you need to have in mind each of the weeks of Sfirat HaOmer, each of the weeks of the counting of the Omer. Because that was very much in fashion to think about the fact that we're rectifying our animal souls, which is part of the topic of this mimer also, of this essay. And people have proposed different explanations for what does it mean that on the first week we're fixing the chesed, and the second we're fixing gvura. So I'll just give a taste from it. He says to fix the chesed in the first week means to fix unwanted cravings. It's an amazing explanation what chesed is. Chesed is my overflowing, my going beyond what I need. It can be chesed, it can be to give, but it can also be to give to myself. I don't really need to fix my giving to others. I should give more. But to give to myself, to do chesed with myself, that I need to rectify. And so he explains that really means to rectify my cravings, my going beyond what I need, beyond what my body needs, beyond what my life needs, and so on. So and he goes over all 7 of them, and in each one of them, if I remember correctly, there's a chiddush, there's a new way of understanding it that I've never seen before. Okay, so let's start. Hinei usfartem ulashon bihirut kmo even sapir. To count in Hebrew is cognate with the word that means brightness, to shine, to illuminate, like even sapir, like a precious stone, a sapphire. So to count in Hebrew is sfira, and it's very similar to the word sapphire, sapir.
Based on Noah, the table.
Why do you say that?
There's Noah, the light is shown.
How do you know this in Even Sapir? Even Tova, it says. It doesn't say what kind of stone it was. What we have that is shining and illuminating as a sapphire, was made out of sapphire, were the second tablets. The second tablets, Moshe Rabbeinu made from sapphire. It says a lot of times in the Medrash, it doesn't call it sapir, it calls it sanpirion. which I guess is a kind of a Greek derivative of sapphire. I don't know exactly. וכן 10 ספירות הוא לשון בהירות. And when we say 10 sfirot, 10 divine emanations, we also mean illuminations. They are bright and shiny. They give off light. וזהו ספרתם לכם וכולו. This is what it means that you should count for you. היינו להמשיך 10 ספירות שיעירו לכם למטה. Meaning to bring down, to draw down. The word is draw. להמשיך 10 sfirot, they will illuminate your way below. They will illuminate you below. Now he has a number of Maimarim, the Tzemach Tzedek adds that we can look at, but we're going to skip this parentheses. Ulehavin zot. What does it mean that we need to illuminate our path below here during these 7 weeks? What does it mean 10? How do you bring down 10 sfirot? Normally, when you talk about Sfirat HaOmer is 7 weeks. So 7 times 7. How do you get from there to 10? Which would be 100. What? No, you'd still have to have 10-day weeks like they had in Egypt. And we know from archaeology that in Egypt, at least for some time of the Egyptian kingdoms, they didn't use a 7-day week, they used a 10-day week. And they had 36 days during the week. It's a little bit worse than what we have. Because our 365, so it's closer to being a multiple of 7. Okay. In fact, that's 350. We're 1 day off, just 1 day off. 364 is a multiple of 7, I believe, if I did my math correctly now in my head. In any case. ולהבין זאת, הנה פסח הוא יציאת מצרים, וחג השבועות הוא מתן תורה. So we know that in Pesach we came out of Egypt, and in Shavu'oth we received the Torah. וקודם קבלת התורה היו צריכים לספור 7 שבועות שלמות, and before receiving the Torah, being able to be at a state in which they could receive the Torah, they had to count 7 full weeks. ואחר כך היו יכולים לקבל התורה, and only then could they receive the Torah. כי הנה כתיב, why is this so? Why do you need these 7 weeks in the middle and the counting and the illuminating below with the 10 sfirot, with the 10 sfirot? Why do you need this in order to receive the Torah? כי הנה כתיב, because it says, והחיות רצו ושוב, that the angels above that are called chayot, or if you want, the living ones, they're called living ones. So they run and return. Run and return. רצו ושוב. שלמעלה הכל בבחינת רצו ושוב. That above, everything is coordinated and works using run and return. Why is that not the case here? It's also the case here below. However, what our understanding is here is that above means anything that is spiritual. So for instance, in our bodies, what does run and return? The main thing that does run and return is our breath. That's the main thing. And the second thing that does a little bit of a run and return, looks a little bit like it, is our blood. But the main function that does run and return is the breath. That's the major mechanistic part of the body that we feel, that we experience, and that actually moves according to run and return. So when I take air in, I'm drawing air into myself. That's called return. And when I'm exhaling, that's the run. But it's a little bit more complex than that, because you can always look at it from 2 points of view. I can look at it from the point of view of the air. I'm drawing it in, so that's like my return. I'm exhaling it, I'm pushing it away, that's the run. But if I look at it from the point of view of the air, it's the opposite. When the air is coming in, that's its run. It's running into me. And when it goes out, it's returning to where it was before. So whenever you talk about run and return, you always have to say that there are two opposite pictures of it. Okay. So on Pesach, וכמו Pesach הוא בחינת רצו. Pesach was the run. He's going to explain in a moment why that's how he associates it. Pesach was the run. ושבועות הוא בחינת שוב. And Shavuos is the return. Okay? So how does he get this? He explains like this. He says, כי פסח הוא יציאת מצרים שהוא בחיפזון. כמו שכתוב, ואכלתם אותו בחיפזון. וכתיב בחיפזון יצאת מארץ מצרים. This is Pesach is run because we did it quickly. What's easier to do? Is it easier to inhale or easier to exhale? Which one is easier on the body? Which one can you do more slowly? Which one can you not control as much? And you have to do quickly. So you have to try them. So inhale for a second. You'll find that you can inhale for a long time. There's no hurry. But in the exhale, it's a lot harder to hold the exhale back. And if you try to hold it back for a longer time, you'll see it's much harder, and you can't get to the same amount of time that you can in the inhale. So according to this, which one is the run? Because the run, he says, is quickly. You can't hold back. So that would be the exhale. So that's the run. And the return, like we said, is the inhale. I'm drawing it in. So that's my shuv. So that's how I defined it from the point of view of the person. Point of view of the person, the exhale is quick. That's like coming out of Egypt. It has to be done quickly. And the inhale, coming into Torah, takes 49 days. So you do very slowly, drawn out. Even the word drawn out, I don't know if you can say, if you can indicate a lot of time passing with something not like drawn, like hamshacha, like with something being exhaled. I don't know if you can even, if there's a word for it. I don't know. I have to think about it. It sounds like usually there's something of it. We do learn a lot, like in our use of language from this experience, because breathing is such a basic experience for every human being. In any case, so it takes a long time to receive the Torah, and so receiving the Torah is an experience, like he says here, of shov. And return takes a much longer time. So the ratzo is quickly, he says, and the shov can be much slower. Why was Pesach done very quickly? Why is it the state of ratzo? Because of running. Because God appeared to them from above. When we say that he appeared from above, we mean that he didn't come down. Very important. Everything is from above. Everything. When the God gave the 10 Commandments, he also came from above. He didn't come. We don't say he came from below. Again, it's an image, but we use the same image both times. Except what he's saying here is that with regard to Pesach, the feeling was that he remained aloof. He never really came down. He can't come down there. Meaning he's doing things from above, from far away, from distance. כי אז היה התגלות אלוקות מלמעלה, כמאמר, עד שנגלה עליהם מלך מלכי המלכים וגאלם בבחינת חיפזון. And so therefore, because he was above, he didn't come down, he wasn't drawn down, so that's described as it happened all very quickly. And in the future, it says, כי לא בחיפזון תצאו ונוסע לא תלכון. In the future redemption, it says it won't be like the redemption from Egypt, the Exodus. It will happen nice and slow. You won't come out quickly with this need to escape, escapism here, and you shall not flee. You won't walk by fleeing. Rather, it will be all very composed, very deliberate, without any like automatic actions. It'll be something that will be controlled. שלא יהיה בחינת חיפזון. אבל יציאת מצרים היה בחיפזון. But the coming out of Egypt, the Exodus, was not composed. It wasn't in a clear, logical state of mind. It was all done with a lot of pressure. Now we'll skip the parentheses. והיינו בחינת רצו ממטה למעלה, מה שאין כן שבועות הוא בחינת שוב, שהוא בחינת מתן תורה, גילוי רצונו למטה. So the fact that God only appeared above, and above, he hovered above as it were, so that caused a run from below. Okay? It's as if you have something above you, and you want to reach it. You can't bring it down, so you have to reach it. So when you try to reach it, you do things very quickly. You try to...
You're not expecting it. It's unexpected.
Right. Chipazon here doesn't necessarily mean how long it takes. It means how your state of mind is. That your state of mind is, I have to do this quickly. I'm not composed. I don't have a sense of composure to me. And Shov is that I have a state of composure, that I can think about things. And Shavuot, he says, that was a state of composure. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow, God willing, to see how this plays out.